Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rage, and we are back today with Marvel Strike Force's newest blog post here, detailing what the Chapter 3 store is going to be like, the new currency, and as well as some upcoming changes actually with respect to the store consolidation, continuing where we kind of left off all the way back from Chapter 1 when we started to switch things around and obviously consolidate, remove, reduce, but it does look like there's going to be a slight nerf to the gold currency, guys, as you'll see in some of the orbs that they're removing. And remember, this is a way to streamline, but unfortunately, something that has been lost in the details has been essentially making sure that if you're taking something away from the game in terms of flexibility or currency in this case, you got to replenish it at least at the bare minimum, especially given the fact that they are trying to clean things up, but there's some lost opportunities, unfortunately, as you'll see later on with some of these changes. So let's get started. The changes introduced in Chapter 3 lay the foundation for a unified player-focused economy, clearer navigation, more relevant orbs, and as well as modernized rewards. You'll spend less time hunting through the tabs and more dominating your enemies. So, I mean, the intention is really good because obviously they just want to make things more simple, right? Especially if you're a new player, mid-game player transitioning to end-game. There's a lot of content in this game, and it can be overwhelming at times. So I can definitely understand why they're trying to clean things up. But obviously at the end of the day, if you're in the end game like myself and you're analyzing these changes, you would expect that whatever you take out, you would still add back in, so that way nothing is really lost, right? You're making sure that things are relevant, and at the same time the opportunity still stays the same. But in this case, there is going to be a little bit of diminishing returns, as you'll see. So Chapter 3, there's a new currency. It's going to be called the Vigil. You'll see that there's going to be upcoming updates to the store tabs, as well as revised organization here on how to simplify purchases, overall to the store orbs, and which we'll talk about in a bit, because they do talk about what's being depleted and taken out, but they do ultimately want to help obviously players with more character acquisition, and as well the sigil store and currency conversion. So it's coming really quickly here, guys. November 3rd, Chapter 3 does arrive with the sigils, as noted earlier, and then as well we still have a few more days to use up the remaining antimatter, which you'll see here is roughly a week after the introduction here of Chapter 3. So it gives everyone still a bit of opportunity to obviously use that, and that way it doesn't convert to store credits by the time it's said and done. So I highly recommend, guys, make sure you're keeping track of this and making note of the date, just because you want to be making the most of it, and especially since these seasonal stores do have more value than the store credits that it gets converted to. So one of the big things is, obviously, we know about what the new chapters come with, but this is going to be a big overhaul in the store tab consolidation. So they're merging, they're reorganizing, and there's going to be some specific tabs that now you'll see, right? There's a chapter store, main, gear, character shard, special items, elite store, isolate, and costume. So as opposed to what we have right now in game where, it's separated by the game mode, like Blitz, raids, arena, and so forth. This is definitely more simple and consolidated, especially if you're interested in, let's say, characters versus gear. Is definitely the intention is going to be to make it more smooth, especially as an experience there. So there's even a snapshot preview here that you can see what it looks like now. The gear and as well as the character stores will also have sub tabs, which I thought was a really good idea, especially since you can separate it by some of the specific stages of the game that you'll progress in. So for example, you can see in this screenshot here, they have the new tabs, as well as even under this one right here, for characters, you can see there's Age of Annihilus, Age of Xavier, Age of Apocalypse, previous ages. So they're trying to be very organized about going forward how this is going to look, because as they obviously add more of these ages, they want to be mindful of that, right? So I think it's a really good idea because they are planning ahead, and then with changes coming in the game, it really gets lost in the noise of how easily this becomes another mess. So they're trying to be very intentional, which is great to see. So one of the big things is, as you can see right here, noted the Arena, Blitz, War, Ultimus, Cosmic Crucible, and Battle World stores will all be removed to make way for a new streamlined system. And this is actually expected sooner than the chapter store update. So make sure you guys make note of this. This is actually as quick as next week. Oh, sorry. No. That's actually in just a few days within the week. So you got to make sure the changes are coming quick and faster. So you got to be mindful of that. But accompanying the store consolidation is also the overhaul of the orb system. So you're going to see there's going to be essentially now 2 refined orbs being added. One focused on PvE, being called Venture. The other one being called Versus, which focuses on the PvP aspects like War, Cosmic Crucible, and Arena. So I really like how now they're just, pivoting to 2 main orbs, PvP or PvE, whatever you care about, that's what you should be going for, right? So it's a good idea for sure. I do like that. And as well, what they've also done with this is that they're only featuring now roughly 6 of the most recent teams, which ensures that there's relevance to the characters being provided. So that way you're not just getting, random character shards that really don't add a lot of value, especially those that have been dated for quite some time. There's going to be these new gear tier orbs also being added. So there's going to be a couple things that they're revising here, as you'll see. They're basically a naming convention, right? They're going to be switching it to green, blue, purple, orange, and teal. And then as well, they're going to be updating those raid orbs respectively. So these orbs now are going to be intentional as added rewards for raids and various events. So it's going to be interesting to see what that looks like in terms of rewards as they review that as well. There's going to be new teal gear orbs. So these teal catalyst, origin, and unique can now be purchased directly with the shop credits. So another avenue for us to access this in terms of farmability. But having said that, the caveat is that they are going to be removing these orbs. And this is what I wanted to point out, because Blitz, Raid, and as well as all gear orbs inside the War, Blitz, Crucible, Ultra stores, all of these are getting removed, guys. So be very, very mindful of this, because this is not going to be converted or anything like that. So if you don't open them, you're just going to lose it. And that's an awful feeling when you just lose up, especially if you hoarded and saved up quite a bit. This is a meaningful amount, especially depending on what you have there. So you'll see here, for a short time, the Raid and Blitz orbs are moving to the new character store. However, they're not going to be purchasable using the shop credits on November 3rd, and then they will be officially removed from the game on November 10th. So open any remaining orbs before they are gone. We recommend checking out the new venture and versus orb before spending shop credits on these expiring orbs. Now, that's what I wanted to point out, guys, because as you know, and for those of you that aren't familiar, Blitz orbs actually do have gold in there. So it's interesting that they're taking this away, because it used to be an avenue where you hoarded a bunch, and if you just need an extra reserve of gold, you could open up these Blitz orbs. Now that's going to be completely gone. They're taking that avenue away. So, and it doesn't sound like they're compensating players in any other way, because they just talk about how it's just going to be refined, and then obviously you can purchase with store credits, and then it's going to be officially gone. And then other things, these are just relocated orbs, so thankfully these are not expiring, so you still have them saved up. You can keep them saved up until they decide to eliminate these as well. But you see the gear orbs in Raid and main store, they're going to be moved to the new gear store. The basic premium mega ultimate Jarvis, they're going to be added into the character. And then finally the ability material and training, they're going to be added into the new special items. So these will continue to exist here. And then also some overhauls with the ultimate orb. Now it's only going to contain characters not featured in the venture versus, which means these orbs once again just become trash and aren't really used for anything, as they're going to be quite dated. When characters are reworked as part of recent teams, they may temporarily move from ultimates back into the venture as well. So just something to be on the lookout for there. On October 30th as well, TO army orbs will become purchasable with shop credits. And then in addition to what we just said earlier, these orbs will also no longer award gold. So if you have any unopened army orbs, please open them now before this change. Going forward, they are actually taking this away. So yeah, something to be mindful of there, guys. New characters will still be released via offers and orb, and then make their way into the chapter store, which we saw could take, it looks like now going forward 3 weeks. There's going to be a new gear store also built to streamline the early mid-game experience. Good stuff there. Shop credits. Blitz and Raid orbs are going away, so the fragments you'll reward will also be earned from these modes will change to shop credits as well. And then finally, we do have the chapter 3 replacing coming very quickly here. So there you guys have it. That is it in a nutshell. It is unfortunate. It's going to be a nerf to some of these orbs, as I mentioned, respectively the armory and as well as the Blitz ones. Maybe they'll add something in the future, but it is a little bit of a bad news bear story here, because of the fact that essentially now the orbs that previously held gold are no longer available, and it doesn't look like they're going to be adding any kind of buffer for that, guys. So just be mindful of that. Make sure you have these open as well, because you want to take advantage of the gold while you can. And as well, remember, there is going to be that limited time where you can open them to get a little bit more gold if you want, but they did encourage us to take a look at the venture. So we'll see. Maybe there's going to be some really sweet character shards that you may want to consider before actually pumping them into the Blitz orbs, if that's what you're interested in, guys. So do let me know down in the comments below what you guys think. Are you a fan? Are you not? I'm a big fan of the fact that this is going to be a lot cleaner going forward. So that's definitely something I'm looking forward to. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.